hope this is working well. We were having some trouble yesterday with... Yeah, I'm hoping all three channels are now. I hope you're seeing this soon up there. And yes, it is apparently so on YouTube, but are we gonna... Yeah, we're jumping over on Twitch. Very good. I'm going to check this out on YouTube here. Take the sound down. Yes, that is good. Okay, we're live everywhere. I know these are such smooth starting things as I'm checking multiple sources, but we will be making some adjustments here. Check that out once we start an episode. Do we just add that and go to war there? I don't know. That was sort of the goal, was to take them down, but I don't know if we're going to get to where that's triggered. How do you think, Sarno? They've really pushed us back here, haven't they? Okay, well... Well, let's hit these guys with the tanks. Yes, the Dutchman.
Готов выдвигаться. Готов. Так точно.
I'm waking up, I guess, so I'm doing relatively well.
До приказа.
I'm just sort of in that mood of, hey, I woke up a short while ago, and... Hello, 2017-us? Yes, I don't know whether I'm doing ridiculously badly or what. Or what, because I'm not terribly pleased with things. How are we doing for... we need 5,000 artillery pieces, lots of support equipment, and nobody's really sending me much from overseas. Oh, maybe I should do this on camera for the next episode. I don't really want to get things thought out a bit, but...
Готов выдвигаться.
I don't know if I should strip any more forces, and most of these forces are not necessarily very good. These guys over here, which, you know, are just good for beating up on partisans and things. Well, okay. All right. Let's see. Okay, we'll start recording an episode here. Welcome to the defense of the motherland. Hello, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745, and we're trying to defend the motherland here. And I don't know whether I'm just pathetic at playing this game, or this is just the way it should be. Yes, historically, Germany did push this deep in, but I'd hope my Stalin line would hold a little better. But we do have some glimmers of hope. But we're going to start out looking at the Air Force, and even before that, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, and of course like videos and post comments. Okay, what air regions you're operating in? Okay, well, let's just get the clock to roll just a bit. Okay, here we go. Hello, Bulkor. I hope that's sort of how you pronounce that. Okay, yellows, reds, yellows, some greens way back. Look to see where we still have air power here. Where is it operating? What is our... Okay, backstock, strategic bombers, scout planes. Let's... Okay, there. I don't know that we need to be over Poland, so let's move you back to here. Baltic states we still want to be over. Belarus. Let's see about adding a... Yeah, that seems like an okay-ish number. Up here. Scout planes, scout. Now down in the Ukraine. We'll look at the naval battle shortly. Okay. Those are support. We basically don't have any fighters. Well, where do we have our sort of push around here? Okay. That's the Ukraine air zone. So let's add some of our remaining close air support down here. Get them here to close air support. And then up here, let's scout. Do some aerial reconnaissance. Hey, IKB. I mean, post 1939. Hello, Dark X. Good to have you here. Yeah, maybe we should. Oh, strategic bomb Romania. Now that does sound interesting. So yeah, let's do that. That sounds something that we might be able to do. Because I just sort of quite honestly, figured that if I were to strategic bomb too much, would they just simply shoot them all down. But maybe we can put them here, and let's see, we want them to operate where do we here? No, we just want to operate these guys at night, and we want to strategic bomb down there of that. Yes, using both Twitch and YouTube, so watch wherever convenient. Yesterday, IKB and I were trying to stream on Twitch, and for both of us, it was freezing. So I don't know whether it was me sending up to the ingest server that wasn't working well at some point along it, or if just Twitch was having a problem because it wasn't local to either one of us, him being in England and I'm out here in California. Okay, we have more an airbase. I guess some interwar bombs. We got the last of our sort of reserve, as it were. You do close air support down here in Ukraine. Now, do we have... Well, I want to take away fighters from there, but okay, we do have some air units, strategic bombers, nice, conveniently located to near Japan, but I think we're going to leave these here because I don't really have much use for them. We are going to do the one strategic bombing campaign on Romania, but we'll see how that goes. Okay. Well, then yes, we can take a look at the naval battle, see. And yeah, we're damaging a little bit. Some Romanian Iron Guard, Romanian VIPs, but nothing being sunk. Similarly unconclusive. Stuff going on there. Kaiser redo. Is that a Kaiserreich? I guess the answer would be no. Kaiserreich submod or something? Sorry if you mentioned it before, I forgot all about it. Okay, well. This river seems to be holding fine. I don't know if we should try our best to try. I'm hoping that this push here Texas look like they have made good progress compared to your... Okay, yeah, I know I was hosting Colonial Rebel stuff before you got here. Maybe you're watching, I guess, on his channel as well. Yeah, now I think he's playing, because he's one of the devs for Black Ice. I think he's playing with Black Ice, so... that of course changes it. I just still not sure what's going on with their Russia situation. We're getting overly stacked up with units here. Let's move these horse units over to... Well... Oh... There's too many in this area here. Okay, so what we should do, maybe not take them from there, take them from up here. can move up to there. Hopefully that'll alleviate some of the supply strains. Okay, Dark X. Yeah, I do still have an interest of trying to play some more Kaiserreich. I don't know when I'll get to it, though. No, I don't see an easy encirclement, because I've already tried to do that, and it didn't work. At least that's my impression here, and now, what I'm also going to do here is, now, like I say, we are don't have nearly enough support equipment. We don't have enough artillery, though we're producing a fair amount. We don't have enough medium tanks, down by 500. That's all affecting. So let's look at production here for a moment. Okay, how is rifle production going? Okay, well, we still have a lot of extra, but we're not going to soon. Okay, well, I guess first what I want to do is deploy all of these, yeah, I think. They're not, excuse me, they're not ready yet. Hey, Toy Jet. Again, the Germans have the first Baltic states captured. Well, good. For them, that is maybe somewhat good to hear that they may be reducing down some of the problem. Okay, well, I am like that supply region is overdone. So I guess we will send these guys down here once they get organized. Well, let's see if we can quickly find them at general. And yes, we're assigning your excess. We have 2 of them we need to do. There we go. There's 14 down that way. See if we can see about moving. And I think we're going to bring you guys down here as a reserve to Rostov, where we have a bit of a fortress. I really don't want to lose our... And thanks for hosting, Nikibi. Don't want to lose this coast, because I think if we can sort of keep this into supply here in Crimea, we can hold that. At least that is my hope. Yeah. Where is this? Moscow. Yeah, I guess we should put you up over here and have you go after fighters. Maybe we can win that air battle. And yeah, Vladivostok and Archangel. Okay, strategic bombers there. Other than going after... Well, we'll move you up to here. Okay, that'll do for our look at the air war before we get back into pushing back to this river. Is what the goal is. I don't know. They're holding all the forts and whatnot, but let's see what we can do. Stalin says you must advance.
Так точно. Готов?
No one said to stop advancing.
Готов.
Kurt student.
Мирно.
Okay, that lack of supply there is hurting us. Archive. Oh no, there isn't. Yeah, no, they're going to get to take that pretty soon.
Слушаю.
I guess I should move maybe a division because I was really hoping the counterattack would be, oh, I don't know, effective. Let's move you out of there. That may help the supply situation a little bit. And yes, notice they got to get to push me out soon. Okay, you guys go to there.
Готов. Так точно.
Pinning attack.
Готов.
Get you across the river. Oh, we got a guy there who's sort of defending. Ah, move into the city with your fairly large force.
Так точно. Выходим. Брось.
Let's send you guys to here, maybe.
Готов. Слушаю.
Oh, we have a research slot available. Well, guess we could research the Sturmovik. Okay. Let's So that's what I wanted to see about. Okay, yeah, we're still building some more factories. Okay. Now my line has been successful along this river. I don't know whether that is, and this looks like reasonably, maybe a little less armor, but reasonably the same sort of force. And they did push into there, and we pushed them back out. This was that there was my sort of problem that's north of Kiev here. Once they took that little sort of peninsula between the rivers, we weren't able to push them out, and I think I put too many forces weakening in counterattack there. And then I've been obviously unable to hold this river line here. And that has turned out not well. Okay, let's hit that. Okay, you have been unable to, with 14 divisions, unable to hold Kharkov. Now you're attacking from 2. There's no fortification. Yes, it is an urban province. And there's 1 cavalry division here. Oh, no, they got in more now. Now they got in 2 infantry divisions. We weren't able to push and get this. Oh good, you pushed to here. But we still haven't gotten enough divisions out of here. They haven't been able to push enough divisions out for our supply situation to normalize, as they might say. Yes, I know these units aren't fully supplied, particularly with, you know, with artillery not fully, but they have some. They're not terribly supplied. Okay, they have a division there. Can you 3? Okay, you look like you may be able to successfully attack that. That's just a maybe. Oh, they didn't get in. I thought they had. But, okay, I believe you. Oh. Ah, well now they're down to 2 divisions down here. Now may be the time to counterattack that way. Okay, it looks like they may be leaving this cavalry division there on its own. Maybe we'll counterattack successfully. support that attack. Okay, well that's working out nicely. Yeah, rapidly push into there.
Готов
And you guys can
выдвигаться.
push down there. Maybe with their support.
Мирно.
Oh good, you're not able to successfully get through there. Well, that's nice. Wow, that's really nice. Well, let's take a page out of the handbook of World War II.
Готов.
What do you think about that? Okay,
Выходим.
you guys can, yeah,
Выходим.
and armored divisions here supported by these guys. Attack the 5 Romanian, or Hungarian actually, divisions. We've got 7 divisions there. Doesn't look like a good place to attack. Sort of kind of just letting them expand in there, and I'm thinking maybe we can do a cutoff, but I don't know that that's going to be
Готов
allowed.
выдвигаться.
Here they may just push me out, encircle me, and take me out. Yeah. United Mexican States joined the Allies. Okay. Well, can you guys do something? What the hell's going on down here? We have no intel on this combat. Really, are they like invading the Axis? I don't know whether it's Italy or whatever is invading North Africa. Oh God, you guys can't send me any relief. I know I sound like Stalin. Attack somewhere. Oh, well, they got to sink an aircraft. And no, inclusive. Let's again look at the aircraft situation. Okay, not good. And yeah, well, let's look. We have, yeah, let's. Okay, rescued, captured, operative. The team had no trouble getting into the country. Mere hours before the prisoner was due to be moved, a small commando unit. Okay, so it looks like we captured our, we got our spy that was captured back out, and then we'll, now that we have this, we will try to steal their ciphers. The losses, certainly. Wars, Soviet. Okay, well, we lost almost 1 million men, 918,000. To the Soviets, they've lost almost 800,000. So we're attriting them considerably in men, but they've killed more of us. I don't know whether I don't know whether I should have kept that thin line of divisions on the front or just moved all those divisions immediately back to the Stalin line. Okay, all of you guys attack there. Oh good, they're pushing out all 14 divisions with a mere, what was it, 4 so divisions? That's just wonderful. And this attack against these Hungarians worked out great. I don't know if I should be complaining about something that's sort of historical and
Слушаю.
in fact here. Oh good, they got a German cavalry division. We're able to defeat all of this. Go back in. Stalin says to go back in. Oh, this is just really good.
Проходим. Готов выдвигаться. Готов выдвигаться. Мирно.
Well, if we want to attack there.
Готов.
Okay, large number of divisions. You come to there.
Внимание. Внимание.
What am I doing wrong or right or what? Please, chat, help me out. You guys play Hearts of Iron once in a while. And you get into Norway from Russia. Not without a naval invasion. Yeah, I either have to declare war against Finland, and now in the winter it may not be the best time to do that. And also naval invasion in the winter up there is not a good idea. Now maybe winter will come and save us? Let's pull all of you back to here. I prefer not to have you all cut off.
Занимаю укрытие.
Okay. I know I may be overstacking there. Is that the problem? Why are they... They have, well, 7 divisions, but 6 in combat. I have 14 divisions, obviously, with 7 in combat. Use front lines. Okay. Okay, we'll do this. But I'm gonna have to reorganize all of this All these units. Okay. Unassigned units. Okay.
Мирно.
Unassigned units. Okay.
Слушаю.
They're already unassigned. Unassigned units.
Мирно.
And yes, my
Внимание.
first instinct is, of course, where things are failing, to see about putting in. Okay, so
Готов выдвигаться.
let's
Внимание.
is he any good? There he is. Okay, he's all right. So let's unassign units. Yes. Let's come here. No.
Так точно.
There we go, and let's put him in charge here. And then well, I don't know if we want to quite do that. Let's trash that. Let's
Выходим.
no, cancel.
Выходим.
Well, I guess it wants to do that. Okay, so he'll have that I think is about all that he's capable to command. Let's
Готов.
grab these guys here. All
Выходим.
of these guys.
Готов.
We're gonna leave the Rostov garrison there. Okay, let's assign that there.
Слушаю.
Assign these.
Мирно.
Unassign.
Вперед. Выходим. Вперед. Выходим.
Hello, Dmitry. How you doing? And I get the 1943, but the rest of the Russian I do not get at all. I hope things are well with you. Hello, Drunken Barbarian. Good to have you here.
Мы под огнем. Мы под огнем.
No, I want you here. Stay there. Oh, I didn't really want you to do that. Okay, put you as the general here, and we'll assign you a front line.
Я готов. Смирно.
I'm gonna assign all. You're gonna become the general for all of these. Okay, unassign these guys.
Так точно. Слушаю.
No, I didn't say. I tried to click here.
Готов.
No. Here. need to... Oh, maybe we didn't... Oh, did we do that badly? I don't know. Select all.
Внимание!
Okay. All these guys. Let's redo this. Let's redo this.
Мы тесним их!
Let's trash all of the orders. And then we will come... Oh, yeah. So I do know how to do this, but not well, of course. I'm not used to doing it. Okay, and...
Целюсь!
No. Cancels. Keep forgetting to click that first. Okay. Let's see how this goes. Hello, OCB. Let's see how the AI fights this out.
Брось! Выходим! Жду приказа! Слушаю! Выходим! Готов выдвигаться!
Oh good, they've taken my airport. That's very useful. Okay, don't care about the ace pilot promoted.
Дистанцию!
Let's retreat to there now. Looks like they're about ready to take that. Okay, nice. Excavation level whatever completed. You know, let's go with heavy tanks, proper heavy tanks. Well, our counterattacks did get them to move a few more units down that way. Don't know how much that helped, but... Oh good, we're gonna get all these guys cut off. That's nice. Yeah, I'm being a bad general. Okay, well...
Выходим!
Unassign. Let's go here. Unassign.
Внимание!
Unassign.
Выходим!
Well, maybe,
Вперед!
no, let's...
Так точно!
Well, you're here. Okay, well, what we're gonna do here is assign...
Зададим жару!
him, okay.
Выходим! Зададим жару!
Okay, well... Select all.
Внимание!
Yes, you might as well die in charging as... Die being surrounded by my bad generalship. Oh good, there's one division here, yay! They can't take that back. Good for you. No, the punk running. Do your thing. Yeah, he's here, right there.
Выдвигаться!
Currently only has 3 divisions under his command. You really need to watch artists very carefully, because I don't know if you can tell, a lot of these Soviet uniforms are post-war uniforms as far as I know. I'm not an expert on Soviet uniforms, but I think the more oh, I don't know, tannish versions, I think that is sort of the correct uniform. That's sort of a picture of Vasilov there with, you know, after he's either captured or defected, wearing without the other Soviet markings on that. He later, of course, adopts even more sort of standard German type uniform. Okay, well...
Готов!
Tanks, yeah, you counterattack too.
Что приказано?
You support the counterattack. Hey, well, since there's nobody here, let's go. Oh no, what the hell? Ah, I thought didn't I highlight those other units? Didn't I do that? But I guess I didn't grab it well enough. Here we go. Go there. Into here. Into here. Charge. You have nearly no supplies. Go. Oh good. Oh good, I gave all this to the AI and it all then took over here. Yay! That is why I don't like to have the AI do this, because it feels it needs to go in and hold the whole front line, when it could have just moved all of the troops to here. Hungary proclaims Greater Hungary, nice for them. And so they could have just did this, but no, they sent all these out to here. And now those are going to get all cut off and die. Well, November 41, I think they were much closer to Moscow. I think they were much more into here, though I don't know how much down into the Ukraine they were in November of 41. And by November of 41, they were at the outskirts or whatever of Stalin, or no, not Stalin, Leningrad up here. Or maybe fighting around here or something. So in that sense, I'm doing a bit better. But I'm far from satisfied with what's going on. No, you're not supposed to stop. You're supposed to keep moving. Okay, you, with your 10 divisions, let's give you a line of operation also along here. Okay. So this pocket's going to die for sure. This pocket is going to die for sure. Oh, okay, Rostov had fallen. I wasn't sure about that. Well, thank you. Stalin would be proud of me. Now, let's sort of recap here. We had a thin line, or yeah, basically a thin line of divisions along the front line, including mountain divisions along here. And I put them under AI control with battle lines. In the belief that they couldn't hold, but also in the sort of hopes that the AI would, I almost used the word intelligently, would effectively keep withdrawing forces back, and I wouldn't need to micromanage the withdrawal, and that more than half of the divisions would end up on my Stalin line, the ones that, you know, retreated back, and would fall back on fresh, fully equipped divisions and help hold that line, and in essence, again with a fairly thin line of divisions, but be sort of this kind of thing, in that they would fill the gaps kind of thing, you know, micromanage the gaps, while I would sort of make sure, like, you know, along most of these, that we would have a bunch of stable divisions sort of sitting there, and I would periodically send them up to the front, you know, as they got pushed back, like here. But they would have at least a few divisions that the AI itself would handle, and that I would just do it. Okay, yes, non-aggression pact. Yes, non-aggression pact. And I hope that. Now, I would say 3/4+ of the divisions got destroyed, didn't fall back, and I had to manually fall back what divisions were saved. So that was obviously a mistake. We lost these two provinces for a while, although we were able to push them out. So probably, because there was no river here, probably a 4 or a 5 level defense bunker would have been good. This province, and then this province, we lost this one because I think they were able to attack 1, 2, 3, 4 provinces and hammered, and we just couldn't hold that, and then we couldn't take it back. And so that was a big concentration of forces that then I think allowed them to push into here and take this river line here. So yeah, that's where things sort of has gone wrong. Okay, well, we're going to end the episode here. not the live stream, of course. So I want to thank all those who are watching later on YouTube for watching, liking. Love to hear your comments about how I'm defending the Soviet Union. We'll be back next time for more Hearts of Iron. Okay, guys, I'm going to grab a Coke and I'll be right back, and we will continue this disaster. We'll see how winter does for us on the defensive. Nothing beats Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola gets the Navy in this timeline. Okay. I'll win in the end. Well, well, my evaluation has always been that if it was even just a German-Soviet matchup, Germany wins. Even a war of attrition, Germany wins. It's the combination of, hey, thanks for following. It's the combination of having to especially once America shows up, having to garrison the coastline everywhere else, and other major defeats that distract enough of the forces from Germany that keeps Germany from winning. Because, well, let's start another episode and I'll talk about this. Welcome back, fellow armchair generals, to winter battles on the Eastern Front, or from our perspective at the moment, the Western Front of the Soviet Union. I'm going to be talking a little bit about the historical situation and my evaluation of it. And yeses, pool, cleaver stones, tag switch over to Twitch. Okay, yes, that's rough looking white front. Okay, and yeah, North Africa is one. Yeah, well, North Africa was one before the start of this invasion of the Soviet Union, and actually the British had successfully invaded and taking out Albania until the going after Yugoslavia and Greece that pushed them out. Okay, my historical evaluation, as I was saying to the live stream here. Hey, Spiraling, good to have you here. Yeah, that in a German-Soviet matchup, even just them alone, and even a war of attrition as opposed to a war of maneuver and decision, Germany wins. I really believe that's the case. And then, of course, if you were to throw in, and the rest of the Axis didn't help huge amounts, but definitely helped. If you were throwing the rest of the Axis, definitely the Axis wins over the Soviets. And we may be getting some, support equipment lend-lease from the Americans, but very little. It's once America gets in the war. Okay, so your valuation: 1941, Germany invades, and around this time, Germany's at the gates of Leningrad, basically, at the gates of Moscow. This is actually the sort of real Stalin line here. And takes Rostov by about this time. So that happens, 41. In the winter, there's the Soviet counteroffensive that pushes them back along sort of the central frontier considerably. That, in my opinion, again, I wasn't there and I haven't studied all the records that are available, but in my opinion, that is because of German logistical failures and the ill preparedness on, I would say, almost every conceivable level for dealing with the Soviet winter. And that includes not just preparedness in the sense of the infantry platoon on the front line isn't prepared. The German home front isn't prepared for dealing with the Soviet winter. And I know I've talked in a lot of the different series about some of the lack of preparedness that the Germans had that I just don't understand. They knew the freaking Soviet winters existed, and I don't care. I don't care if you believe that it's just, as like Hitler says, you just kick in the front door and the whole house of cards will collapse. I think that's that's at least a paraphrasing of one of his comments about what it's going to be like invading the Soviet Union. I don't care if that is what you truly believe is going to happen. You still need to occupy the goddamn Soviet Union. You know you do. And so why don't you have... Yeah, they had, for at least most all German soldiers, a greatcoat. They had some winter stuff for all of the soldiers. I don't know how much of that, because, how much of that is sitting in warehouses back in Germany, and how much is that on the Soviet soldiers' back as winter comes. But they're not even, and yes, Germany has rather cold areas in winter. They know about maybe not super cold Russian winters so much, but there's guys around who know about that. So it's not like this strange new land that we've never been in. Rosenberg, one of the Nazi thinkers and leaders, I think, wasn't he born like in Moscow or something? But definitely, or maybe that's just some of his parents were, or whatever, because he comes from sort of some of the German stock that had immigrated. At least some of his people came from German stock that had immigrated into Russia, because there was, shall we say, German colonists invited in by various czars at different times. So, yeah, they had people that knew what the Russian winter was like, and they just didn't make better preparations even for an occupation. Okay, and so, things down to, they knew what antifreeze was. They didn't have antifreeze for their vehicles, their with tanks and trucks. And so, why didn't they prepare that? I just don't get, and I'm not paying much attention to the chat. I will in a moment. So, Why didn't they prepare better? I don't know. Even if they're have the victory disease, they didn't prepare better even for victory. They would have had a miserable victory. If they the conquest went great, the occupation would have just been miserable. So the Soviet counteroffensive happens and is, in my opinion, so successful is because the Germans are incapable of reacting to it, whether on a broad front perspective or on a very immediate local perspective, because hey, the truck won't turn on because the fluids in it are frozen, including maybe down to the fluids of the oils and whatnot in the engines. So you can't even turn the goddamn trucks on to evacuate, whether it's evacuate wounded or bringing supplies from the railheads. It's just there's an inability to deal with it, including the ineffective ability to do local withdrawals against pressure points. So the whole thing just collapses, and Germany loses a large amount of personnel, a very large amount of equipment, because if your truck don't move, or if your horses, which have maybe been I'm presuming a lot of them have been housed in some sort of local housing. That's sort of the standard thing, is you put horses into, and I don't know about horses acclimated to the Russian steppe, but you put a lot of horses into, whether they're official horse barns or you kick the local peasants out and you put them in the peasant huts and try to keep them a bit warmer in winter. You start to try to pull these horses out. I do have a bit of a background of horses, but not in this cold environment at all. But and the horses that I knew wouldn't have been acclimated to anything like this. I'm sure they faced some coldish winters that got to near freezing and whatnot, but they had barns and But trying to get out there and you tow your artillery piece through snow to withdraw it rapidly, yeah, it ain't gonna happen. I'm not saying none of it got withdrawn. I'm sure some of it did, but huge amounts of irreplaceable equipment gets lost in the counteroffensive, in the sort of 41 to 42 winter there. And part of the reason for the effectiveness of the Soviet counteroffensive is that there are tanks spread out in tank workshops from here back to here, because they've collapsed. Probably more than half of the tanks not functioning were due to mechanical failures of the advance, not due to enemy action being knocked out of action, just that they're in the workshop needing to be repaired, waiting to be repaired, whatever it may be. And so that equipment that's still behind the end of whatever the stop line is for the counteroffensive obviously is still around to be used later. And Germany is starting to crank up its industry at that point. I think Germany could have very effectively done because they do the sort of 42 spring offensive push down here into the Caucasus and sort of end up in the Stalingrad battles. But and whether they should, and I do sort of kind of think they should take it in chunks instead of weekly attacking. Well, I mean, you may weekly attack everywhere to sort of do pinning attacks to keep them, where's the real attack? But instead of trying to attack on a broad front, taking a big section like the Caucasus to get gasoline for yourself, to deny gasoline to the Soviets, that's all a good plan. I absolutely know that they could have put a lot more effort into that whole situation had they not been concerned about what's going on in North Africa, because we see, as well as America coming in, because they're only maybe just starting to shift focus at this point, because we see, I'm just not good with dates, but we see in 42, about the time of the start of the push into the Caucasus, U.S. landings in North Africa, and simultaneously to the Second Battle of El Alamein here, that pushes Germany to here, and then they formed Panzer Army Africa, and it is larger than a corps. It's maybe smallish for the German element of it, smallish for an army on the Eastern Front, but it is definitely more than just the Africa Corps. And at about the same time, you have the, which is now at the end of 42, you have the sort of the fictitious broadcast from Stalingrad in the Christmas broadcast in December 42. Hope I'm getting all these dates right. That was just faked up. I mean, they were still holding out a bit in Stalingrad at the time, but they didn't have the setup to do, we're, besieged Stalingrad, Christmas greetings thing. That was, staged from somewhere in Germany. But at about the time the collapse of, the whole pocket Stalingrad, all the troops that get in the pocket in the Stalingrad, about equal number of troops, if you include the Italians, are lost in Tunisia at about that same time, because you already had basically an Italian army, I'm trying to define that as multiple corps, already in North Africa beforehand, and they moved down more to replace a lot of the stuff lost in the retreat from Alamein. So all of that, and that's in 42, mid to second half of 42, is really affecting things on the Eastern Front. Had you been able to take all of the forces that were sent into German forces sent into North Africa, never mind the Italian forces, all of those German forces that were sent in North Africa, the Tiger tanks that famously there, the one, they have one of them still up in Bovington, all of that stuff, had that been intelligently used, not just thrown into the cauldron of Stalingrad, but intelligently used in this front, I think they would have held. I mean, I think you could have easily had those panzer armies, because there was a sort of, I presume maybe along this river to the north here, and then there was sort of a front leading down here that was lightly held while there was still a German push, mostly German push, at least trying to acquire more of the Caucasus, when the counterattack happens as winter is falling into here. Had you had a Panzer Army Reserve that was, whether it's actually sort of a reserve sitting in the center or just operating along the fringes of where they had the Hungarian and Italian armies and the Romanian armies, so they never sent those guys into the Stalingrad battle. They had some really good stiffened panzer units and panzer grenadier units. I think the Russian pincer movement would have easily been contained and limited and stopped. And they might have had to withdraw from Stalingrad, but they were at several times very, very close to taking Stalingrad. It's always one of those things that, we've almost got it, and at one time there was just literally a little bit of this side of the bank that they're holding. Now they hold some outside of the city, hold some to the north and hold some to the south, but it was just a teeny little bit of Stalingrad that they held in there, that they were able to pour in reinforcements and keep it going. But it was always one of those things, if we just had another couple of battalions, another brigade, another division, we've got this thing. So they kept throwing in a little bit more, and that just kept, because either they didn't overwhelm in the very early days, throw in the whole thing all at once, which would have overwhelmed the Soviet or go, nope, no more for you, General whoever. No, I'm not talking Paulus, who's sort of the Sixth Army around this whole area, but if Paulus said no more to whatever general that's actually commanding the division in Stalingrad, we're going to, because my thesis has always been is once you realize that this bogs down, because they're it's initial sort of rush into Stalingrad, and there's Soviet defense units there, but they're not, again, huge, but it's not like it wasn't a prepared assault. It was like, we're rushing towards Stalingrad. We're on the outskirts of Stalingrad. We're pushing into Stalingrad. It's being successful. It was always sort of that kind of thing. But once you realize that it's sort of bogged down, they should have said, nope, freeze the units in place, hold what you got. We're sending you no more replacements, no more units, and prepare a pincer movement of your own early on in this whole thing, and push to the other side of the Volga. This is one of the rivers that I do know the name of. Push to the far side of the Volga in a double pincer movement around Stalingrad in the open terrain. Have prepared, set up amphibious, because this is a rather wide river, amphibious operations, and isolate everything in Stalingrad, and then push into it, because they're not going to be able to feed in supplies to it while maintaining that. And I think they would have secured that, which then allows you, once you've secured Stalingrad, then you can move in a couple of Hungarian divisions to sort of occupy / hold it, and get the German divisions out along the rivers wherever your front line is. And that would have contained that. You could have moved down into Astrakhan, which the Germans never did, and basically effectively hold this and effectively secure all of the rest of the Caucasus. I think that would have been readily easily to do. And again, this is in the hypothetical Axis versus Soviet Union match. Sure, there might be the idea of a Lend-Lease kind of thing, like America was doing for Britain before getting into that war, with Western allies just afraid of an overwhelming Germany. But you've now cut them off of their primary source of oil. They do have replacement sources, not full replacement, but some replacement sources in the Soviet Union, I believe. And I definitely know that the Western allies could send in more oil, but still that would have made it much more tenuous. And that would have opened it up to a 1943 offensive with Germany's industrial machine only finally getting into really high gear, because you have a Todt dying sometime in the winter of 41 in the airplane crash, and Speer coming in, and Speer takes a while to ramp it up. I mean, Todt was going to be ramping up already, and there was already plans put in place before Speer comes in, the industrial output. But that ramping up is really mostly through 42. I mean, it's significantly getting bigger during 42, but it's really only hits its running speed of industrial output in 43. And so then, now I know by 43, Soviet industry sort of on the comeback, because it's had its 1941 upheaval of moving its factories east and getting things organized. And so 42 is also sort of a reorganization time for them industrially. That's going on. Now by 43, they're also ramped up. So you do get T-34 spam for sure. But I think the Germans could easily cope with it. And basically, not so much the rotary engines, though the U.S. did use rotary engines in tanks. The end-line engines for a tank or a truck or an aircraft are essentially the same thing. Different factories, yes, but you can take a truck factory and convert, in fact, truck engine factory, as well as a truck engine or truck body shop pressing elements to make elements of aircraft. So all of the aircraft that Germany is making to confront the Allied aircraft could either A, be sent to dominate the air in the Soviet Union, and I don't think they would have needed as much. So they could shift some of that engine production and other critical productions to produce, whether it's more trucks for more trucks and half tracks for more motorization for your combat forces, which gives you greater flexibility, or tank engines is still something of a bottleneck. So I will get to your chat here in just a moment. But so in my opinion, in a Hitler-Stalin matchup, Germany wins. It's only when you include the threat of the invasion and then the actual invasions of, Sicily, Italy, and then, Britain playing a little bit around in Greece, and then the invasion here, along with the strategical bombing, which destroys and disrupts production. And things like anti-aircraft guns are ramped up that could have been built, whether as artillery pieces or anti-tank guns or tank guns. It's essentially the same factories that will produce your tank gun or your anti-aircraft gun. All of that stuff could easily be moved to the Eastern Front, and production and manpower, all those guys manning all those flak guns could have been sent to the Eastern Front. So all of that warfighting necessity, they move and there may not be good panzer divisions. I think they have a lot of, and this is in like in 1944, 43, 44, panzer divisions that are equipped with a fair number, maybe not a majority, but a fair number of Panzer IIIs that have been upgraded to various things. They get sent up to Norway. They basically end up surrendering in Norway, when Norway surrenders out, and they never get moved back out of Norway because they're afraid of an Allied invasion here. So I don't know whether I know there's at least one Panzer division moved up there, and I think it's 2 or 3 that get moved to Norway because it's just such a big territory in there. Needs to confront there. Those panzer divisions may very well not. I don't believe, and I'm trying to remember from what I've read, and it's been a long time. I don't know that the divisions ever had anything like Panther tanks. They may have just been like Panzer IVs, Sturmgeschütz, Panzer IIIs, that type of thing. So they're not the premier panzer divisions that get sent up to Norway. But even those divisions would have been damn useful on the Eastern Front if you're looking at just, again, that matchup. And so that always wins. And that's sort of what I'm afraid that I'm facing here is the AI is not overly, and I'm not going to tag switch because I don't want to quote unquote cheat on this, is not overly defending this, and they're just pouring everything in. Okay, now let me scroll up here and look at all of your words of wisdom. Okay, good job. Holding the Baltic. Yes, kind of accurate. Historical city. Yes, it is kind of accurate. Battle of Moscow. Thank you for posting the links there, Arno. Failure German generals would realistically mean Hitler gets his full southern focus, I feel. Get that wheat and oil. Yeah, like I say, I'm not disagreeing with the push to the south at that point. It's just how it was handled was a problem. They're also confident that the war would be over. Yeah, it just, it's not so much, because again, I sort of kind of get that if you think the whole house of cards is going to fall in, while you might not have huge preparations and you're not really experienced at operating war on the scale to think that you're going to need the Soviet railway system operational, and you're going to capture a lot of it to just keep your occupation forces supplied with food and whatnot. Yeah, I kind of get that, but it's still, they should have done the preparations to occupy, because the winter is on the calendar. It isn't a surprise every year, like, oh wow, winter again. I didn't know they were going to have it this year also. No, they know it's coming. But they just didn't have the preparation set up to move in before it gets cold. Winter preparations to whatever troops are doing, whether they're hanging out in Moscow partying it up or whatever, but you still need winter clothing. Never vision better than building up the Soviets. Yeah, I don't know. I firmly believe also it should have been delayed to 42 and use 41 to secure the Mediterranean. That I'm fully there. Hello, Bear Jew. How you doing? Um, Big difference. Yes, starting it a little earlier, spiraling would have been good. I don't know if it would have. Well, again, goes back to warfare as a political act. Had you taken Moscow, had the Germans, if you like he says, starting in May. If you started in May and were able to push a little more rapidly to Moscow, you very well may have get the Soviet elites evacuating Moscow, and then even the NKVD guys looking at each other, going, "Are we really going to fight for Moscow?" And they deciding, as well as the standard Soviet militiaman or whatever, deciding not to fight hard for Moscow, and either retreating, running away, or just giving up to the Germans. And then with that, we do note Italy is sort of having fun and games down here pretty nicely, actually. With that, it might have looked at Germany as unstoppable, and whether it's at the political upper level leadership or whether it's the soldier on the front lines looking at going, yeah, this war is unwinnable, and just not necessarily like, throwing our hands up and surrendering, we give up, but really give up the hard fight of it, as it were, and just allowing a German victory, because war is a political action, and perception is what is reality in politics. Okay, what is Cool Cleaverstone saying? There's a long address made to the senior members of the Nazi Party in November to the place that was in Munich during the height of the Battle of Stalingrad, perhaps. Yes, very true. There, perhaps more German officers in the Italian army. Okay, yeah, no, we'll just call you Cool. Yeah, Cool. We'll call you Cool. Italy would have had none of that. They did allow. Italy. There was remarkably little cooperation between Germany, Italy, and Japan. Remarkably little. Now you say, well, Japan's way out there. Yeah. So strategic operations might be timed at the same time to put pressure on both of them. But Japan, to the best of my knowledge, really didn't telegraph to Germany that it was entering the war. So that was not a coordinated thing. And I think if the Germans had known, they would have been screaming, "Stop! Stop! 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 Wait till we get to Moscow or whatever. Don't poke the American bear." Yes, no, American eagle. Don't poke it. But so that is not. Just hang on for another few months with limited stuff, and be on the defensive in China. Just wait. We'll get Moscow down, and then we'll help you out, kind of thing. So there's very remarkably little coordination. It wasn't until so there's a push, I think mostly by Mussolini and some of his close confidants, to try to get the Italian to manufacture German tanks, German model tanks. But the Italian manufacturers basically sort of refuse, and we have new designs coming. And they did have new designs coming, but nowhere near as good as the Germans. And it wasn't until the complete and total collapse in North Africa that they finally asked Germany for advisors on building fortifications, field fortifications. So it's only then and Germany sends some advisors down to places like Sicily and other places to start building coastal fortifications, I think primarily, but some field and coastal fortification. kind of thing. And trying to rebuild, or actually rebuilding Eretit, or however you pronounce it. And again, I'm butchering these if I read them. Latoro or whatever. Two of the from the sort of garrison elements of the divisions, the two of the primary Italian divisions, getting rebuilt with significant amounts, I think a majority amount of German-built Panzer IVs and Stugs get sent down with German advisors, trainers mostly. Basically the divisions end up more in the action, more fighting the co-belligerent Italians against the Germans, because they switch sides. So it's only then that they do. There is very little cooperation. The other earlier cooperation that is significant, I think it's about 400 Stukas are made in Italy. And when I say made, I think from that's sort of what I remember from one of the documentaries saying. I think they mean assembled. I don't think they were building the engines. I don't think they were, building all the parts in Italy. I think they were just, sending down the parts kits, as it were, and doing a lot of the manpower intensive elements of assembly in Italy. But that's the one aircraft that's German well before the surrender, because then you have, of course, the Italian Social Republic, which gets German equipment. But there's very limited cooperation going on, and a lot of it is resistance by various elements within Italy, whether it's industrial or military. They really resent the Germans. A lot of the leading officials don't like Germans because, there was that thing, World War I. Yeah, and they fought the Germans, as they see it, because they sort of lumped the Italians in with the rest of the Germans, and obviously with unification. So they're not a lot of the key figures in the Italian military hierarchy unfavorable to Germany. They might. I'm not saying they are. It varies from individual to individual. They might be on board of the idea of the new Roman Empire with Mussolini, and whether that means south of France or just gobbling up Yugoslavia, Greece, Egypt, and parts of Turkey and Cyprus. They may be all on board with that plan of that, and whether they're on board with fascism or not, particularly, that's another question. And again, it gets down to the individual, and I can't really. I mean, I know of Balboa. He is a rather good Air Force. He would have led the Italian Air Force rather well, I think, at least from reports that I've read. But he gets shot down by Italian anti-aircraft gunners. There's that big suspicion, was it ordered by internal faction? I don't think so. I just think they mistook his airplane for an allied one and shot it down. So he dies early on in the conflict. But so some of them are on board with fascism. Others, I think, are on board with Italian expansionism. But very few of them have very positive and friendly feelings toward Germany itself, and partially it goes back to German occupation here in Tyrol and Trieste, and earlier Habsburg occupation in large areas of France. So, which is slightly different than German occupation, but they're not terribly fond of it. So that's part of why there isn't much cooperation going on as there could have been. Okay, remember the German railway, the Germans used supplies. Stalingrad came into the south side of the city and curved back up. Okay, towards the Don, yes. The 1st Panzer Division was in Norway. Oh, hey, okay, Panzer 3s, 4s, Stugs. It surrendered. I think it had 50 to 70-ish tanks. Okay, good, thank you. I knew there was something up there. See, Axis Turkey could have been huge. Sweden to a lesser extent. I'm going to disagree. I think it's actually the best thing for Germany that Turkey remains neutral. Turkish soldiers are not the worst in the world, but they're not good. Turkey did not make a single one of its own weapons. So if you're going to have Turkey in the war, that means either Italy or Germany, or what are you thinking, Romania? Who's going to supply all of their weapons and all of their heavy munitions? They might I say, have been in 1940s making their own bullets, but I know they weren't making their own rifles or machine guns or artillery pieces or aircraft or any of that stuff. So you would have been a greater logistical drain on Germany. And I don't know, literally, I don't know if, say, and when would they have come in? Day one of the Barbarossa? Well, they're going to have the British on their south down here that you're going to have to supply. And I don't know whether they would have been even effective to be able to push it all against whatever Soviet garrison forces that were down here. Whether they could, literally, even if there was zero ground forces down here, I don't know if the Turkish forces could get their acts together to march, into the Caucasus. I just don't know that they could have. And I'm sort of, in the no ground forces, I'm sort of going, yeah, there's local people's militias and whatever. So there would have been shooting back at them. Might not have been, very effective battles, but just, engagements. I don't know how effective they would have been. And it would have gotten to the point that Germany is supplying everything for them. And I am sure, without knowing, but I'm sure that Turkey could not have supplied its rifle ammunition, machine gun rifle ammunition production at the rate of consumption in an ongoing large-scale warfare. So again, even that, because it's one thing to go, yeah, hey, our infantry divisions are firing, on an average of, 10,000 rounds a day or something in training operations, one division, each guy firing 10 rounds here and, whatever, because if 10,000 rounds, that's 1,000 guys firing 10 rounds. If I have my math right, correct me if I'm wrong, people. Okay, so 10,000 bullets being fired in a day. That's just 1,000 soldiers at a rifle range firing just 10 rounds. Okay, so I'm sure that there wasn't huge amounts of rifle training going on in peaceful, but wartime, but peaceful Turkey. I'm sure there wasn't, it wasn't like every soldier out every day shooting at the rifle range. I'm sure, though, that soldiers got out to the rifle range to shoot some. And so that's just, so 10,000 rounds. So you could easily ramp up just in sort of training procedures, 100,000 rounds a day. That is, 10,000 soldiers firing 10 rounds is 100. I'm not good. Yeah, something like that could easily, and that's like a division of soldiers firing 10 rounds in a day or something, get you to 100,000, or I hope my math isn't hugely wrong here. So your ammunition expenditure, once you're going into warfare, I don't believe Turkey can make enough ammo to fight a war, on a, sure, it would be one thing if they came in at the right moment and, when Rommel's pushing here and they were able to just sort of go in and occupy Syria, and that's all that it was going to be, and maybe occupy Iran, yeah, maybe, all right, they could be helpful. But no, they'd end up being more of a problem than a benefit. And this goes back to a theory that I've held. Hello, Azaz, sort of scanning through the chat and getting to people. So Turkey as a sort of southern linchpin, especially in the south of Europe and it's coming through here, blocks out a lot of advances of the enemy. In my opinion, the best thing Italy could have done to help Germany in World War II was stay out of the war. Just stay the fuck out of the war. And that means Yugoslavia, it can go neutral. Greece, it can stay neutral. Bulgaria, in that case, would stay neutral because it sort of kind of really doesn't want to get into the war, but pressured to, and gets to pick up some of its lost territory here and maybe pick up some of its territory. I mean, these damn states are drawn. Oh, God. Oh, don't get me into another state rant. But pick up some lost/claim territory here. There's still to this day, of course, the controversy over quote-unquote Macedonia. Is it this country here that these guys down here in this part of Greece think that maybe they should have a little bit more territory to the north and all be Greek-speaking, or is it this Slavic group of people that are calling themselves Macedonians but are probably more these culturally ethnic Bulgarians or whatnot? So I don't know what they should be, but Bulgaria thinks Skopje or whatever should be Bulgarian territory. Without getting that, Bulgaria stays peaceful, which would be just fine. And so Germany has Vichy France that it would have a emergency occupation plan to invade if they somehow enter the war or whatnot. But all of this, so they end up having this much of a southern coast to have to protect along here. So Italy out of the war, and Italy is strong enough, and if it's peaceful and if it's being peaceful, I don't think the U.S. would get it into the war. Obviously, U.S. can defeat it, but just combination of U.S. morals and not needing another additional enemy in the war would have kept it peaceful, even if the trains are daily running back and forth with critical trade. Could be arms that Italy's making in their factories and moving them into Germany, or just simply moving raw materials and food and whatnot into Germany and getting paid well for it. I don't think they would have got, it would have been like Spain. And that would have secured effectively, all you would have had is the south of France. And once U.S. Britain moves into here, if they do so, they'll occupy that and start fortifying that. And that would have been the biggest benefit. So a neutral Turkey is a much better benefit in reality than a Turkey in the war. That's my evaluation. Sweden, maybe. But I don't know that Sweden was interested in it. Finland is not interested in being in the war. Finland does not want to be in the war. Finland gets attacked because Germany gives the Soviet Union permission. I don't know how much at the time Finland realized that. But Finland holds out, so Germany gives a little bit of aid to Finland in the Winter War. More of the aid does come in from the Allies. And Sweden, and they sort of hold off the Soviets, and it's only the continuation war, and that's what it was even at the time. So they only see it as going back in and retaking their lost territory, and have no interest in being involved in the war beyond that point. And so getting Sweden in, its interest is having Finland a strong buffer state, and is probably as much concerned about Norway being in German hands as anything else. Maybe you could have talked Sweden into taking over Norway, but which does help you on the garrison aspects, yes. But I don't know. I don't know how much that is. Moscow, yeah, if you can actually get the oil, but the question is how important is the Baku oil to the Soviets? Because Germany would have gotten almost zero of the oil if you don't realize that. These ads. There's a very good documentary that I've watched. It's about an hour long. That Baku was completely wired up with dynamite. That place would have been so easy to accidentally set off, and they had set it up so thoroughly to just blow every bit of infrastructure up that would have just caused a huge problem. It probably, to get it, I don't know how much it was set up underground fires to put underground oil wells on fire, but they were definitely going to blow up the towers, and there would have been lots and lots of oil fires. It could have, because enough of that would have been artesianing out. It could have been a year or more just to put the fires out for Germany. And it probably could have easily been 2 years before Germany saw significant oil coming out of the Baku area for its use. But of course, that does cut off. Now, there was also, Grozny. I think there was some planning and demolition of Grozny, but I don't think it was as extensive as the Baku ones. But of course, I don't think they get Grozny. They get Maikop, which is the other major sort of oil in the region. Largely, I think, intact or functional, or able to get functional. But this wasn't going to be a super boon to Germany. The biggest thing is it cuts it down for Soviet use, which I think the Soviets have oil reserves, stockpiles, whatever you want to call them, up in this part of the Soviet Union. So it would have taken months, if not a year or more, before the Soviets are really without fresh oil coming in to being used. Let's see, going through all the chat, lots of chat, I know. And the Soviets, okay, East, the alliance with Japan was beneficial coincidence at first. Yeah. America becomes a bigger problem. Italy had the potential to complement Germany's strengths well. May have had the potential, but like I said, they did not coordinate it well. Third war in the U.S. But yes. Well, Hitler thinks the U.S. naval forces are going to be either defeated, because it sort of kind of looks like what happens on December 7th, either defeated or largely tied up by the Japanese, and he was going to be able to do a U-boat offensive against North America, not just the U.S., but against North America effectively. So he thought his timing was good at doing that and not waiting. That was sort of my understanding of that. Wouldn't have turned out as great if it could as the Axis ally, but complete divergence from what they're talking about. Okay, you're going to dinner, OCB. Obviously, the fascists, the main fascists at the time, Hitler was actually, in the 20s. Yeah, in the 20s, Hitler was definitely looking up as Mussolini as the senior partner. By the 30s, it's shifted around entirely. It would rightly be called corporatism as a merger of state and corporate power. Absolutely. Nazis were not fascist, but both were a type of socialist. Yes, hello, Stormy. I'm multi-streaming on Twitch and YouTube. On Twitch, it's gamer_1745 as well, if you want to catch me there. And welcome. Nice having you watch me. Don't get very many viewers on a Mixer. Going through the chat here. Okay. I've been considering Vichy French loyalty in Syria as well as Iraq against the British. Yeah, there was real fighting. That's in Syria. That's the only time that I know of French Foreign Legion units fought French Foreign Legions in Syria, Free French versus Vichy. They're, like I say, real fighting, not dogged, not fighting to the death, fighting basically, I would say, until one side or the other got the upper hand, which was the Allies, and then basically giving in at that point. And then after a while, especially after U.S. involvement almost entirely, all the French are moving over to the Free French side, and fairly early on, a lot of the rank and file of the Vichy forces come over to the Free French. Also significant fighting in Madagascar. A lot of that fighting, my understanding, are done by colonial troops, meaning non-French troops. And they fight well, but the British just come in with more and do better. And once it's apparent you're losing a particular battle, they're either withdrawing to the next defensive position or surrendering. So again, it wasn't one of these like, we must defend, Madagascar or Syria to the last. No, it was, hey, if we're doing well, we'll fight. If not, we'll, we'll give it up. Yeah, British were bribing the Turks to stay neutral for sure. I didn't know specifically with steam locomotives, but they were doing so with other weapons. Yeah, Spain was ruined. The Civil War ruined Spain. Sweden didn't have the troops to garrison Norway. Well, how much do you need to garrison Norway with? I think Sweden would have had enough troops to deal with the partisans, and I think quite possibly Norwegians would have looked on Swedish occupation and reunification with Sweden differently than German occupation. And I think, and I'm just saying I think because I don't know all this, I think they could have handled that. What they very likely wouldn't have been able to do is occupy it significantly strong enough to resist an Allied invasion. That I could grant you without necessarily knowing a lot more details. Okay, bad Civil War, okay. Yeah, no, and hello, The Can, how you doing over there on Mixer as well? Good to see people showing up on Mixer finally. And so, yeah, no, Spain gave a long list, or Franco, I should say, gave a long list of what we need to be able to enter the war. Part of it was, hey, we'll of course need help in, and which Germany would have gladly given help in taking Gibraltar. But, oh, yeah, we're going to want this, we want all of Morocco, not just Spanish Morocco, which still is a real shithole of a shithole country that doesn't really hardly exist. Is sort of, some of it is claimed by Morocco, some of it is claimed by whatever this is nowadays, and there's the Doha Front, which is a liberation front going on here fighting Morocco for the last 20 or 30 or 40 years or whatever it's called, whatever's going on down there. They wanted French Morocco. They had already occupied Tangiers, which was a free city, sort of like Danzig. Spain marches in and takes Tangier the same day that the Germans march into Paris, and they definitely the French or the Spanish are watching the Germans approach Paris, and so they do that to not be too noticed by the world when they occupy Tangiers. So they grabbed that up, and so they want at least that. Maybe also, I'm not sure if the demands included any of Algeria, but definitely Morocco. And then huge amounts of food and other military supplies. And it was basically an offer that the territory, they might think Germany would turn it over from France, but you got to remember, the whole point of Vichy France is to keep the Free French France from being an occupation problem. And there is, especially while there's Vichy France and before, the Allies land in North Africa, there is huge levels of cooperation from the French administrative services, which could be including the post office, or, I don't know, the guys that run the canals, or the police. Huge cooperation, as well as cooperation of taking over war-useful factories in the occupied zones to produce things useful to Germany. They don't so much produce German weapons, but they produce components and elements that get shipped to Germany. But is all happening because there's Vichy France, with the basic promise that most, not so much, this here, but maybe some parts of this or whatever, because this is actually officially annexed to Germany. What they're calling Alsace-Lorraine here is annexed back to Germany. There very well may be border changes, but the rest of it's all going to go back to being French controlled. It might be sort of akin to what happens to Germany after World War I, and that there's going to, which there already sort of was, a limited Vichy army that was probably going to continue for good 20 or 30 years or whatnot. But this was all going to go back to to French control. At that point, they would just be somewhat of a disarmed, particularly in Europe, maybe not so much in the colonies world, and so that keeps the French Sweet. So switching this over to Spain, Franco might be thinking that that is something that Hitler won't do because it'll disrupt that alliance, or he may be thinking it. But basically, a lot of his list is very real needs that he has, but slightly exaggerated, and say, yes, I don't know if he call him Mein Führer because he's not a Führer. Yes, Herr Hitler, I will join your war as soon as you give this laundry list of supplies. I'm in with you fully, and maybe not quite that enthusiastic, but I will come in and help you as soon as you give me this laundry list of supplies and equipment. And basically, it's designed to be something that Germany can't fulfill. So they look at it as that way, as, oh yeah, we can't you match these. So as opposed to saying, no, we're not going to help you, which might trigger a German invasion. That's what they're worried about at the extreme other end. Not maybe that they thought it was likely, but something that might happen. So they want to say a yes on conditions, but conditions might at surface look like, okay, they're willing to come in, but in reality, Germany isn't going to be able to achieve them. And that's Franco's strategy. In my opinion, it's entirely planned. And I think if Germany looked like it was getting close to, fulfilling some of the conditions, you go, oh yeah, but don't forget about I didn't mention we also have to have, or whatever, or some other thing coming up. I think it would have been a forever stall, is my opinion. Okay, how do you download Black Ice mod for Hearts of Iron 4? Okay. You go to you don't download Hearts of Iron 4 Black Ice mod. There is two components. You go to the Steam Workshop, you search for Black Ice, you go in there, you find it, you click on the mod, to do the mod there, and it will automatically, and then there'll be instructions to also add a second one that adds a bunch of graphics and things to it. Because they have an overall size limit, so they break it into two parts, and it will automatically download and install it into the game through the Steam Workshop. Oh, I see. Arno's already got. Okay, they had 6th Division when Norway was taking Serbia. Okay, and I'm not doubting your word that they had 6th Division. Sweden had, but one, you could raise more. I thought they got more before the end of the war. And how many divisions do you need to occupy Norway? As Sweden. Because, again, I say as Sweden because if it's Sweden coming in, especially if it's Sweden coming in after a German invasion, and Sweden can spin it as, hey, yeah, the Germans were worried that Britain was going to invade, which Britain had planned on invading up here in Narvik to help fight in the Winter War. But when that stopped, that was sort of called off. And then they were sort of kind of getting ready to maybe invade again up into Narvik, this time more to cut off German supplies. Yeah, they were just sort of, the Swedes come out and explain, yeah, the Germans were sort of worried about an Anglo-French invasion, and there had been massive amounts of primarily British violating Swedish territorial waters, going up into fords, that because German ships had run into the fords for protection or whatever to get away from the British, and the British followed them into the fjords. I guess I should say fjords, and engaged in combat and captured vessels in Norwegian harbors, or not harbors, but well up in Norwegian territory, and then hauled them out. So they were just worried about them doing this, and now that they've gotten rid of it, they're willing to turn over the occupation over to us, so long as we assure the Germans that there will be no French or British coming into Norway, and we're going to, just because of things, we're going to have to keep the Norwegian army, not armed or anything, but we're going to just occupy peacefully and just sort of do sort of spin it that way. I don't know that it would take too many divisions just to keep the Norwegians from, getting upset at things. At least that's my appreciation of it. Where I've talked to some people about Switzerland and the occupation more deeply, I have not specifically talked about that scenario to people who sort of know about what what would Quisling have done? I don't know. Quisling was an ultra-nationalist. Quisling ends up almost in a civil war with the SS in Norway because it's growing big and it's taking a lot of his Quisling stormtrooper type guys, I forget what they're called in Norway, were joining the SS. And the SS was clearly printing stuff, making statements, whatever, that Norway was going to be integrated into the Greater German Reich. And that is absolutely what Quisling doesn't want to happen because he is a super Norwegian patriot. I don't know whether that includes a Scandinavianist patriot or just specifically Norway and he hated Sweden. I don't know. I just quite honestly don't know that. But he wants to see a Nazi-like regime in Norway, but a Norwegian one, and that's a close ally of Germany, absolutely, but not a German-occupied long-term situation. Now that, of course, is not what Germany, or at least not what Himmler wants to see happen, and the German ambassador, Terboven, not German ambassador. Well, the head of German occupation is Terboven, who's sent up there, and he's sort of straddling both the SS operation and expansion in there and dealing with Quisling. And though I think he falls more into the Himmler camp as for the long-term plans of it. Gamer tried to advance the game just a little. Very okay. We're going to get that in just a second. Progress on the Eastern Front. Also, could we get some flying belugas to occupy Norway? Yeah, that could be. Oh, for you guys who are who play War Thunder with me, when this live stream is over, you might want to join me. There's a special event going on, D-Day thing that you might be interested in. I'm going to play a little War Thunder after this is over. But yes, we're going to end this episode here, but we're going to start another one immediately and actually play more of this very long talking episode, Hearts of Iron 4. So thank you for listening. I did like a lot of your points that you brought up in chat. So, and welcome back, fellow Armchair Generals. This is Gamer 1745, and we're going to continue our actual playing episode of Hearts of Iron 4. We're playing as the Soviet Union. We're seeing how the AI does down here. They've lost one major pocket here, though this pocket was more my fault. We'll see how they do here. And now we have the winter conditions, which at least, up here, not so much down here, but up here will maybe affect things positively on our side. Well, if this general hadn't got 2/3 of his force, he had like a total of 24. Now he's down to 11, so well, okay, a little over half, but of his force pocketed and surrounded and taken out, they would be doing much better. I'm very glad that I left this 3-division garrison here down in Rostov to hopefully hold it. And I don't want to send out the Moscow garrison. They've not moved close enough to Norway to trigger Finland, or not, close enough to Finland to get Finland into the war, which we had hoped to in a summer campaign to bust into Finland take it and then move most of the force down here. Yes, but I'm not paying attention to that. Let's speed this up a little bit since I'm no longer micromanaging. Well, through Sunday, so we may be doing it also Sunday, but I want to make some videos, Arno. So even if it's just you, if you want to, after this, if you're still up and around and want to join me, I would greatly appreciate it. I had some really great matches, and then I had some really sucky matches. Okay, let's see. Do we want to go fighter, veteran initiative, fighter agility? Okay, and let's see. We're going to spend the bonus, move that through faster. Well, this line up here is held. I don't know whether I've just had enough troops, the river effect has been enough, or Germany is just focused in other places. Legionary Bulgaria joins Axis. Uh-oh, well. I thought they were already in, but oh well. Now, okay, yes. Okay. Let's do this. Let's spam out all of these divisions, and now that the armor is better equipped and we're trained, let's do that. Okay. Let's grab these. Let's form another. Well, oh no. Let's grab these, and we'll give them to him. Don't know where his units. Let's unassign these. What are we doing? No. These, okay. These divisions we want to unassign. Top 3. Wherever they may be. Let's unassign them, and yes, I should have done that as a batch. I don't really care at the moment. Okay, now let's come down here and, well, we need to grab, what is that, 3 of them? And unassign these guys. Okay, so now sort of being able to transfer the general without transferring the general and get that. See, let's see what we winter specialist, winter expert. Okay, that'll be good here. We'll give him winter expert, and let's draw a battle line right along here for you, and go. Come down from Moscow with all of your forces. Socialist realism. I'm not sure what that means. What does socialist realism mean, people? Can somebody explain that to me? He has a... No, he doesn't have any. Okay, we're going to... Let's give these forces, including the armored divisions, to this guy. And then, okay, it's all of these. It's better than doing them one at a time. We're gonna unassign. Basically, we're transferring it to here. Okay, so now he has these divisions. Select all. And let's, yes, we can give them sort of a front line along here. And see if they can come down to there with that armor. Okay, then let's look at here. Anybody able to answer what social realism? Death? Oh, okay. Yeah, socialist realism. That could be a good explanation of that spiraling. Yeah, real death. That could be remove national trust, get plot purge, okay, counterintelligence, operative slots. Okay, we'll do that. And let's see, we want to we want to go to total mobilization. Yes, that should help with production. And we just, well, we've for a little while we've had the points to do that, but not enough. So hopefully that will increase the production rate of the factories. Okay, we can build more factories now. So let's come back over here. Yeah, we can build. So if we lose Moscow, we're sort of done anyways. I don't think we're coming back from that one. I like how they add them up here now. That's a nice improvement instead of having to push them up there. Hello, Ari. I think you might need to get a moderator to tell you to speak in English. Though when I have a actual Russian trying to speak in Russian, I don't complain because I presume they don't have good English, but I can't read Cyrillic. Serve Russia. Okay. And yes, Ari would be one of the moderators to tell himself to speak in English. Or immediately have translation quotes behind it would be convenient. So not just me, but the rest of the chat can hear or not hear, but read what's going on. Because they push back here, which is fine. I don't know, should we do a linear counteroffensive here? I think maybe. Let's see if we can. Another Russian army song. Hey, Eat Boy, how you doing? These guys are getting down here to get into their front. That'll be 24 divisions or whatever. Oh, okay, one of the guys is wounded. I'm not going to pay much attention to that. No, he's not a communist. He's just a weird dude.
Слушаю. Готов подвигаться. Выходим! Ройс! Выходим!
Leave the pressure by attacking there. I'm doing well. Yes, that's your prerogative to love army songs and marches. Some might actually be good. Or was he not included in the lands? Okay, select all. They should all be coming down here. Okay, let's trash these. I just don't trust that. We have all selected, so now we'll redraw the line, so hopefully they will all come down here. Okay, good. Where are they coming? What do they want to hold Moscow for? Okay, well, I'm going to manually move you down here, and then you can mess around if you want. Well, since they're having fun attacking there, let's move
Так точно.
you into Kursk, and we're going to sort of force an advance
Выходим!
there. What are we talking about? Admiral Togo? Is that what we're talking about? So love, no, nation switch, most people don't care. Oh, Togo is in the nation Togo. Okay, this is in my mind of World War II. Yes, Togo, the nation. Togo is basically a river. The Germans pushed up. Oh, they want to, okay, yes, more support equipment. Great, thank you. Please. Liberia joins the Allies. Now we're cooking. Luxembourg calls them in. Yeah, like Luxembourg still is a thing. Italy somehow is able to, I guess the local supply is able to supply and hold out their forces there. But I don't see any Allied landings. Oh, we got more. What do we want? Artillery, probably? Okay, or, well, infantry equipment we're running low on. Not that we're running low on everything. Tanks, we're running low on everything. We're going to be getting, so let's improve that, increase the, and increase medium tank production. Once we get the factories, let's make sure the factories keep in production themselves. Hello, blue, white, red. How you doing? And all those watching now or watching later on YouTube, please follow the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever the current format is best to do that. Okay, well the Germans have pushed fairly far into here. Okay. They're pushing even further. Okay, so who is running this operation here? Okay, well, what about this purple? Okay, where is, okay, this division, what general is that looking? Okay, down here. He has the purple plant. So let's select all, but we're going to cancel these orders. Okay. That leaves them there. What we're going to do here is draw new orders around that. And then say go. Now let's see if these other guys can hold out down here on their own. All these guys come here to reinforce. And I think we're going to move these 4 tank divisions that have been sitting here through the whole war so far. The fall of Tokyo. Whoa, we did know that there had been invasion down here in Hiroshima, but the U.S. has actually taken Tokyo. Now, this doesn't necessarily help us in our fight against the Germans, but obviously this is where America's been focusing on. So Tokyo falls. They're getting a little bit of a counterattack there, but it looks like they're pushing up there well and effectively. Okay. These guys, come on, you come down to here. You're going to be a bit of a fire brigade down to here.
Слушаю. Выходим. Ройс.
Well, maybe I shouldn't be interfering that much. Well, we're defending against Barbarossa, so we're losing. So I don't know if it's nice to see it's going so well. Did I sink anything yet? No, I don't think so. And there's nothing really been happening up here, though we've been laying a lot of mines. Those are all of our mines up there. Because today we're playing the Soviets. So we want Barbarossa to go badly.
Готов выдвигаться.
No, you go there now.
Я готов.
You support that just because you're there. Hello, Marcel. How you doing? Okay, our Rostov garrison. You need to head back to Rostov. Oh, that isn't looking good. Sturmovik. Oh, yeah, you want a non-aggression pact. Fine. Okay, well, we got the Sturmovik. Not that it's going to do us much good, because I'm not switching production right now. I don't want a disruption. More bad planes than... We're in 42, so that means we can get better... Siam joins Greater East Asian Coast Prosperity Sphere. Okay, more Russian. Okay, apparently Paradox will announce the next soon. Okay, well, good. Good. We could use that. Though the AI is both doing really stupid things and being smart enough to push very deep into my rear now that I've especially... Now... Okay, chat, you've been watching this happen. Would this bulge have happened had I continued to micromanage this, or is this a better outcome than if had I been managing all this, would it have been worse? Would it have been better? I'm doing, fairly well. Of course, I'm on a very different clock than you are. So I don't know. I don't know that whether this is... You should bring in your tanks. Cut off that bulge. Yeah. Which tanks? You mean like these guys here that can't even freaking cut off this bulge? Or what tanks? This tank, that we're gonna get cut off here pretty soon. I know we have a few. Oh, we actually 7 over here. Smersh. Okay. Well, let's grab these 7. Because it's not a bad idea to cut the bulge off. I'm not disagreeing with that. It's just more, can we achieve it? Okay, Arno, yeah, and we might have seen a different situation if we had if I had turned over the new Soviet man. Yeah, well, whatever. Turned over some of the stuff earlier, but why are you going where you're going? Oh no, you come to here. You come to here.
Слушаю.
Okay, as soon as they're ready, well, refining, which helps here. Okay, so we have a full reserve of oil. We're into 42. Well, entrenchment would be nice. And we also have enough to change the government some. Okay, we want to do factory output. I think we're going to do limited exports. Help our situation some. Okay. You attack there. No, you attack there too. Come on, get organized up. Okay, yeah, you see drive that way. Oh good, you're nice and pocketed.
Готов выдвигаться. Так точно.
No, no, you know, well, oh, well,
Внимание.
I know I'm micromanaging you, General, but you're not that good of a general.
Я готов. Мирно. Жду приказа. Готов. Выходим. Готов. Жду приказа. Жду приказа.
Well, this is working out a little better than I thought. Oh good, you've
Смирно.
been able to get yourself a little bit pocketed there.
Внимание.
You push that way. Fast offensive, that is nice. New tactics, okay, and yes, we're going to spend that to push it faster forward. Okay. We need lots of stuff. What would be most desperate? Anti-tank guns. Well, we're facing some tanks. We still have a fair amount of light tanks, so we're not producing as much as we could need. But medium tanks may be the thing of decision right now. So, okay, well we have that. We'll do that. Yeah, you need to keep one tank. Yeah, I understand, but I'm trying to keep a force of a hitting force of tanks, and hoping that the AI with all these lines will move into my rear. And secure that. Because if you have all these pretty lines, what's their point if you can't rely upon them? Fall of Manila. What? Oh, Japan did another invasion down here. How interesting. While, of course, the US, oh, they've been pushed out of Hiroshima. But man, they seem to have taken a lot of Japan. I don't know why they did it. I don't know. You know, hooray for the AI! Hooray! They did a naval invasion, which is pretty smart. Why didn't they focus on, yeah, keeping their homeland instead of naval invasion in the Philippines or battling it out in China? See there, that's bloody AI. Okay, okay, you push into here. You support that attack. Okay, there. British Malaya capitulated, okay. Okay, you support that attack. You support the attack as well. Yeah, oh, come on. What the hell are you not? No, yeah, okay. Why are we putting Panzer divisions in cities? We've been shot down by Pritzel or whatever. You just attack there, that'd be a spoiling attack. You attack there because you're fairly weakish there. You drive to there. You guys push on him, that's fine. You're going the wrong way. You just keep driving to there. Oh, you guys support that attack. You drive to there to keep that. Well, I'm not surprised it took Fortress City Rostov from me. Yeah, that's brilliant AI. Okay, you're there. You're there. Hopefully this pocket will hold as a pocket. Okay, well, we need to start putting some pressure on the pocket, I think. Okay, you guys attack here instead of that, going wherever you were going to go. guys come to here and mess with them there. Where are you going? No, no, no. You, all three of you attack there. Okay, you guys counterattack into there. Okay, one division goes there. The other two go this way. Now that you're there, you come back and slam into there. Oh, no one said to go that way. You go this way. Guardian, a Guderian. Oh, Soviet Union Airfighter. Piotr Guderian. Oh, Guardian. No, it is Guardian. Okay. Okay, it's gone down. Okay, so we've lost that. Okay, well, this pocket is turning out very well. Yeah, moving those tanks down here was a very smart move. Thank you for the suggestion. Now's the time for pressure. No, no, don't walk all over, walk all the way around everywhere. Just attack into there. You'll take it faster than walking around it. Okay. Oh, it's sort of like a disco. It's getting closer. Disco lights. Yay. Whoever came up with this color palette almost makes me want to do physical violence to somebody. Okay, Panzers, you move that way. You attack there. You attack there. You attack there. Okay, you attack there. You attack there. You're already pushing in there. You guys go north to there along with you. Yes, yes. You keep... No, no, you keep pushing here. Kill the goddamn pocket first before going anywhere else. This is bigger than Stalingrad in number of divisions because all these pockets. Now, of course, we've had several massive pockets killed ourselves, but hey. Some turnaround is nice. Where are you going? No, no, no. Push into nearby units. They're weak. You may be somewhat disorganized, but they're worse off. Always be attacking, guys. This is the time to push and attack. Even if they've got 4 divisions, you've got 1. Attack. No, don't drive all over the place. Just go attack the nearer province. Start putting some pressure on them. Yeah, you guys can push into there. You can get back and get pushed into here. I think pink is Gamer's favorite color. I don't think so. You can change the... Yeah, you can by changing these. I know, but this whole damn palette here is just god-awful in my opinion. That's just standard. And how much time do I want to spend changing, you know, the stuff around? I know you can, and if I were playing on my own, I probably would be. Changing up some of this stuff a bit more. I don't know how much time you want to watch me change palettes all the time.
Выходим. Выходим. Готов подвигаться.
No, you attack over here, PP.
Так точно. Так точно. Готов.
You're already defending, okay. You join in and support that attack.
Мирно. Внимание.
Fall of Rome. Oh, well, hey, there's good news. Okay, yes, United States. All right. Looks like we are getting some move. They've landed in Sicily and they've taken out Rome. Wow. Yes, finally the KV-1s, so we're not in any position to build them at the moment, but yes. So this is obviously a good thing, but it doesn't so much help me here. But yes, this will mean a lot. The fall of Rome. Now we're going to end the episode, not the live stream. Everybody can hang loose. But we're going to end the episode here. I want to thank you all for watching. Thanks for liking the videos if you would. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitch if you like. And on Mixer. You can. I'm live streaming there as well. So please do so. And I'd love to hear your comments. See you next time for more Hearts of Iron. Okay, we will be continuing this. Just give me a moment here and I'll start another episode. Oh, the Netherlands. Yes. Oh, we also have a D-Day. I hadn't noticed that. We've been focusing on this. Now, see, this turns everything around. So I'm gonna go to the toilet and I'll be back. You can paper dock to see the losses. Yeah. We'll look to see the losses. Go to the paper dock. I don't know what you mean by paper dock. I know to come to here, current wars, German, Soviet. Here to see. Well, this is. Oh, this is the German-American War. It'd probably be better if I clicked on the right one. Yeah. What? No, it's... Okay, let's close this up. No. Why is it... See, it's the German-American War 2. I see that, and I was clicking German-Soviet War. Am I just not doing this right? We don't know. Okay. There's a little paper to the left of that 3. Okay, close. Oh, you're talking here? This theater. Okay. Yes. Equipment. There we go. Equipment losses in combat by attrition. Medium tanks. but I'll be back. You can take a look at enemy combat losses here. We'll be back in just a moment. I want to make at least one more episode or more, but at least one more. Continue this. With Rome down, things will be changed. Okay, so I hope this is informing you enough that what we have lost. Medium tanks, light tanks, in combat, lots of stuff, lots of German losses. Okay. Okay, so we're going to clean up this pocket, and then we're going to see about pushing back into the Ukraine now that we have this distraction here, and we may try to push out of Crimea as well. Okay, we have another spy that but we'll do that once we start the episode. That's interesting enough. Okay, so all right. Oh, and just sort of hello, Goncal. Oh boy, Goncal Ograka, or is it Goncal Lograka? I don't know how to pronounce that. Sorry, butchering it. And yes, hello, mate. Good to have you here. Okay, so we're gonna get ready to start another episode up here, and so things have changed. We will see how things go from here. Okay. Well, sort of like the Sixth Army. They never took Stalingrad, but yeah, it's actually the amount of divisions, and a bunch of them were overrun in a smaller pocket. It's larger than the Sixth Army loss in numbers of divisions. So, yeah, we've had that. Now, the Soviets have definitely, no, sorry, so used to playing the other side. The Germans have definitely killed some big pockets of us too, but yes. Well, back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 with my continuing playthrough of Hearts of Iron 4 with all the DLCs through La Resistance, and we're playing as the Soviet Union. Well, we've had a very good turn of events. After some significant setbacks, my Stalin line, this is the historical Stalin line is here. But my Stalin line was along this river here, and I don't know the names of these rivers. I do know this is the Volga, and if I saw some names, I'll recognize them. Along here, we held here. They pushed us back from here, but we had also come down along this river, down through here, and holding most of Ukraine. They pushed us out of that, as you can see, and then pushed way deep up into here, north of Stalingrad. I believe it was Aries' suggestion. We moved some of the panzer divisions that we had pushed out into here with down here and cut them off, and are created a massive pocket of, well, 74. Well, no, that's some of these divisions over here, I think, but there's still a lot here. But they're, like I said, there were more divisions overrun and pocketed as well down in here. So that's massive. Now, that's all good news. What's very good news is the U.S. has invaded here, and I got the Rome notification at the end of the last episode, but they had also invaded in Sicily, the U.S., and it looks like the British, but maybe it's the U.S., I don't know, because maybe it's liberating, I can't quite tell, has liberated most of the Netherlands and actually gotten Brussels as well. So that's massive, obviously, in 42 invasions. And of course, for a long time, the U.S. has been in Japan, landing initially in Hiroshima, but now I've connected that up and about ready to take all of the main island of Japan. I don't know how long Japan gets to exist as a occupying state of China, but yeah, so that's talking about resistance. The French resistance was like feudal Japan. I don't get that how that reference goes, but okay. What you're exactly referring to. But Japan did do a nice naval invasion and take out Manila recently. So why Japan feels it should be doing naval invasions while Tokyo was falling, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. Okay, we've got another spy that we can recruit here. Well, at least this well-groomed guy matches with the well-groomed face. Infiltrator, safecracker, seducer, tough. I know we live in this kooky modern age. Hooray for the modern age. Oh, God. I'm not going to get started, but hooray for the modern age. But couldn't you make, because these are random, at least most of them are, there are some that are historically based, couldn't you like do the tough, make that align with a male figure? Really? Yeah. I get the idea that, the right, sometimes they make some guy like this to be the seducer, but yeah, something like this, seducer, women secretaries, whatever at the time, very well might be able to be seduced by a guy. So that does work. But a tough, really, okay, let's be somewhat realistic. But yeah, we'll get Lydia Kolchak. Okay, so we'll do that. I don't know what missions we're sending her on. Do we have... Oh, let's take a look here at our completed operation. Our under the cover of very adverse weather, our team found previously scouted trail, blah, blah, blah. Our agent was able to convince the person in possession of the ciphers to part with them. The team escaped by crossing the border. The cover not uses guidance to help them. Okay, close. So we decryption against the German Reich 30%. Okay, so we now have better decryption there. That's nice, I guess, of course. I don't think I want to expand my intelligence right now. I'd rather expand my factories. Let's see, isn't he still doing a network? Okay, his networking, I guess, has ended here in Germany. We'll put him back on that. Building that up, and then once that's done, we may see about doing some more. Operations, spying, whatever. Okay, let's improve our anti-tank capabilities as well. Yeah, as for the U.S., what I think happened is I think they invaded out of Guam. Japan never decided to take Guam out early on. I don't know, maybe the U.S. had a big stack of divisions there but at the start, but they didn't take that out effectively. And I think That's how they got there. Because otherwise, they could have theoretically come from the Philippines. That's a theoretical possibility. I don't think these islands out here, well, this one may be naval invasion range, but I'm not sure. That might be, what is this, Wake Island. So that might be a thing. But yes, it did a massive encirclement there. What can't you do with the, going back, and some of the I think a few, and I don't know how many, but some of the AI developers may go back to Hearts of Iron 3 for this. You definitely had, when For the Motherland was out, particularly the British were doing a lot of suicide invasions into Europe when Germany was at peace with everybody else, but basically unless they were, occupied countries. And so that was a problem, because if you would leave a port open, Britain would throw in 2 or 3 divisions or something into that port. And then whether it was, if you had the AI controlling that front or the human controlling the front, either one, they'd come in and crush and destroy those divisions, not just force them to retreat out of there. They would get destroyed. So there were a bunch of suicide divisions going on. They ended that with their finest hour when that came out, the last DLC for Hearts of Iron 4. And the pendulum swung back the other way super hard. All of the suicide invasions that they did could, I'm not saying would have been, some of them would have been a good idea once Germany was at war with the Soviet Union, but were suicide for sure for those units. And so they constantly, and you could just leave like one port open, and they'd throw in 3 to 6 divisions, then you could crush them and then retreat back out, and you just rinse and repeat and just keep killing British divisions that way. And it was stupid. But if you'd planned maybe a slightly bigger division or stack coming in, and do that while you were at war with Germany was at war with Russia, that could make a good bit of sense, because it distracts Germany from fighting on the Eastern Front, and you have to keep things garrisoned. Okay, so that's sort of the history of this. And so these invasions here and here would be silly if we weren't also fighting in Russia. Now, once we're fighting in Russia, they can make a lot of sense, and probably the AI is under garrisoning its ports, so they're able to, do massive acquisitions. Now, the real test comes in here is the AI and programming the AI to fight, and also the naval AI. Why? Okay, I know the main naval Italian fleet was sitting here in Toronto, or Taranto, or however you say that, because this is Trento is up here. There's another similar sounding name somewhere else. I forget right offhand. But why couldn't you program the Italians to try to keep naval? Now, maybe, because we see it appears at least one Allied naval mine laid here. Maybe there's also a naval or an invasion up here in Dalmatia. Or is that a partisan outbreak? No. I think these are British in here. Okay. And keep naval supremacy here. Maybe they busted their way into naval battles and sunk it all. That's possible. But I would definitely try to have air cover here to keep. Yeah, I can see the Allies with the U.S. here coming in, securing here and being able to do a naval invasion of Sicily. I could see that happening. But why, when you have a really good fleet that Japan can't organize a fleet big enough to sit here and a fleet big enough to sit here to keep from being invaded? And yeah, they should realize that war's coming with the U.S. or whatever, and quickly invade some of these islands like Wake and Guam and push into the Philippines, which they did do up here in the Philippines fairly early. That happened, but it didn't happen very strong, and were able to hold out until they did another, which was probably a smart naval invasion coming into here. But they did that invasion about the same time they lost Tokyo. Now, for a long time, for a good almost a year or whatever, through most of 41, the U.S. had Hiroshima in this part. So Japan felt it had enough ships and enough whatever to control this part of the ocean and do a naval invasion of Manila when their homeland's being taken. Can't you go, hey, yeah, keep some ships and aircraft and whatnot to win any naval battles in the home port, in the home ocean, home sea, whatever you want to call it, and B, also keep a reasonable garrison. Now, maybe that was a 20-stack naval invasion into Hiroshima, but I don't think so. I don't know. I doubt it was more than 4 or 6 divisions, just a combination of things. And it wouldn't have taken a whole hell of a lot if you had good 10 or 15 divisions sitting around at home to come in and crush them. And it's just maddening to see that. Okay, let's look at some of the chat. I know I've been sort of ranting here. Okay, OCB, those days when the Allies made their naval invasions, but never knew it. Yeah, knew what to do. You're absolutely right about that. They didn't know what to follow up on. They'd often take that port and sit there. When I quit playing last night, I logged in as France, and they had me in power. Hello, Augusto. I'm glad to hear that people in Brazil are watching. They're watching your videos and playing with the mod. I can't play vanilla anymore. Well, hope that's a good thing. I presume you're talking about Hearts of Iron 3, but yes, that's great. Gibraltar, it's still sitting here, I think. Yep, Britain still has Gibraltar. I think you're saying, but yeah. Check the stream's recommendations, some peeps on Reddit, and that it didn't work with that either. What you guys, I'm going to go buy a new laptop. I wanted to know what you would recommend specs to play HOI 4. It must be okay. HOI 4 laptop. Well, my first advice, unless you really need it mobile, and I don't know your circumstances, AZADs, but unless you really need it mobile, I wouldn't buy a laptop. That's just my prejudice. If you do need mobility, then yes, buy a laptop. Well, I would go minimum 8 gigs of memory. I would personally push it to 16, but minimum 8 gigs. I don't know of other specific stats. A lot of the recent processors, both from AMD and Intel, are very good. There's a couple of reasons maybe that Intel is still a little better, especially at the sort of high-end single processing or whatnot. And there's some games that, because some of the older games that I play will only play on a single processor, no matter how many you have in them. So that single processor power is important. Other games, I believe, I don't know in all details, but generally will maybe only run on 2 to 4 processor units. So having a bunch of, thread rippers with all of the processors and threads, going more doesn't necessarily help on an individual cases, though it obviously you can run other programs. So they're both good. I would look around YouTube for advice on that kind of stuff. Brett would suggest not get an MSI product, I think, if he were around here, because he really is upset at his MSI gaming laptop that he bought to take to China, because he was planning on dumping it once leaving China, just because China and having a laptop and whatever they may be sticking onto you there. Yeah, anything that's sort of gaming reasonably should do with that. But AZADS is in for work. Yeah, okay. But still, if it has gaming in it, and India, I don't know what the laptop market is like. Graphics memory. Yeah, get a decent. I would go with NVIDIA over AMD graphics cards personally. Um, I think. Oh well, you can see my current. You scroll down here. I have a 10 Force a GTI 1070 Ti, which is running this just fine and streaming on this, so something like that. And I think I have 8 gigs of memory on my graphics card. I know they're different and sort of more integrated for a laptop, but they're still there. So that's sort of my half-ass kind of advice on it. But let's get back. Okay, production. Okay. Anti-tank, which would be nice. Artillery, which would be nice. Support equipment. Light tanks. Okay, let's look at some support equipment improvement and a light tank improvement. And then let's come over here and see about building up some more factories. Out here in the east, we have lots of extra workers from the gulags out here that we can put into the factories. Okay, so let's back to our crushing of the pocket. Why are you going that way? Okay, you come to here. You just crush that. No, you guys come to there. You push in and crush that. No, don't go anywhere. You just march into there. You march into there. You march into there. You support that march into there. You march into here. You march into there. And you guys march into there. And you march into there. Yeah, overrun their divisions retreating. There's 7 divisions there that are retreating. Overrun. Okay, great. No, don't walk around. Walk into their attack vectors. No, attack. Politics at Memel. I don't know. We'll see. I think I'd rather push to the push in here and push to the Black Sea from the north. I think that would be a better strategy. Oh, how are we still here? Okay. You guys come over mentioning that. Okay, you guys get on trains now that we have a spring offensive coming. You attack north. No. Yeah, it's in chat for the doomed Germans. Now, see, all these guys, they're not all going to die, but they're all going to go to the gulag factories and make things for us. You just invade there. Okay, you take all of that. I'm switching your tasking over to here, I know. Okay, where are you going? You come here now. Just shut that down.
Ройс!
We need somebody to work in the workers' paradise.
Жду приказа.
Okay,
Жду приказа.
okay, there's only two of you. Man, I hate these colors. Okay,
Выходим!
you guys come up over here. We need to reassign some of these.
Мирно. Выходим!
Division commands, because I'm going to leave some of them as unassigned. Some of them as assigned to some of the battle lines, yes, but others we're going to want to move. And
Готов выдвигаться.
okay, you come. Let's put you on trains. We're going to get you here a little quicker. Windows 7, Windows 7 isn't really an option for a modern computer. I looked into that when I was upgrading mine, and modern motherboards have features on them that Windows 7 just can't take advantage of. So I would, okay, China took a bunch of estates. We didn't get any. It looks like Japan is out of the war. Okay, well, Japan's out. So China gets Manchuria and Korea. I wonder how the Koreans are going to like being under the Chinese boot heel instead of the Japanese boot heel. We have another naval battle that was inconclusive.
Жду приказа. Готов.
Yes, I know you're overstrained for supplies, but we're going to be attacking soon, hopefully. Okay, well, you guys start your attack down into here. You guys come and attack as well, but your
Жду приказа.
armor is coming fast.
Выдвигаться.
Attack those Hungarians.
Готов выдвигаться. Выходим. Выходим.
The new Soviet man, because the old Soviet man wasn't. Yeah, no, we're not going to go after Cambodia, Micronesia, Republic of Vietnam, Republic of Laos. Okay, yeah, I guess. Well, we're going to need partisan suppression. Or those German partisans are going to be... Your battleship with escorts would wreck the Romanian fleet. Yeah, the only thing I'm a little worried about with that is all the nasty sea mines here, so I don't know whether it's worth going out there. So yeah, sort of historical things. Micronesia, I guess, out here that they've established. Yeah, okay, the Dutch got their colonies back. Well, you guys can march in from there.
Слушаю.
Okay, well, at least you're sort of operating reasonably well. Let's see where we might want to attack. Okay. We want to put a little pressure so they can't just reinforce our main attack. Now we want this to be the main, because we want to cut off the other forces. Oh, let's see. Yeah, that's there. Okay, you guys go in with that and push into there with. I know we are overstressing. Okay, now all of you guys come in and attack here. And you attack here. Overstressing the supplies here. And I think we can do a, even though it is sort of fortified along here, we can do a bit of a general offensive against here. Hopefully that will distract some force. Let's push into here as part of this. Well, that attack didn't work. Not quite sure why it didn't work. Whether it's our logistical problems or other things. If we Windows 10 upgrade, but it wouldn't work for me. Yeah, okay, now if you have an older machine, that's different. What tanks we're using? We're using light tanks, and we're using a sort of a T-34 type. We can show the T-34A. It's basically, the thing with an extra armor, extra reliability, and 2 extra engines, so it's sort of fast with, and it's sort of like the 76mm version, if you will, because it doesn't have any improved main gun. That's that, and then just light tanks, and we are not making any KV-1s yet, because we just didn't have the production facilities earlier to do so. Come on, guys. Attack. Do it well. But you're not doing it well. I know. Okay, supply is too big of a thing. Or are you just going to turn around and march back on me? Probably. Get out of the supply zone. Okay, well maybe we need to push out of here. Okay, now we're going to unassign you and send you up to here. Hopefully that's out of the supply zone. You go up to there as well. You go to there. Let's move you up to there. Hopefully that's out of the supply zone. Yes, unassign you as well. So I don't want you marching back. Hopefully go up there. Hopefully that again out of the supply zone. We can see here, I don't know exactly where. Okay, it's this yellow area that we've got to clear out a few extra divisions. Okay, you guys can go to there. That should get you out of that zone. Yeah, it's no, there's no more. Well, good that you're getting the production down. There's a lot to learn there, and I think it makes it a good game. But it does take a bit of a learning curve. That is definitely a thing. But once you get it down, I think it's worth it. Okay, well. Okay, U5 divisions attacking there. Supported by these. And supported by these. And yes, there are supply concerns about overstacking. That's some of my trouble right now, right in here. Let's take a look. Okay, well, let's see. The invasion here in Rome and Sicily, the German and Italian forces, I presume there's some Germans involved, were able to throw them out, so they were too weak. The invasions here have held so far, and they've pushed into there. I think we will be seeing a lot of forces, American forces that had been in Japan, that now that they've defeated there, are going to be sent hopefully over to Europe and do some operations there. And come on, get out of the damn supply zone, people. Okay, improved anti-tank upgrades. Okay, yes, we'll do a non-aggression pact with you. 42, let's do improved anti-air, though we don't have much of that. Support equipment, I think we will go for. We can do more research. We'll do bigger guns, I guess, though I don't know when we'll put them into actual operation. Do one more province up to get out of there. Oh, these attacks didn't do much good. Why not? Okay, well. Support that attack. Engineering companies improved. Let's now we're going on the offensive. Let's improve reconnaissance. This is a northeast of shortcut. Don't know where. Oh, here. Yeah, these are forests here. You can see down here, these are forests. So we're attacking in the forests. Well, I know that is a thing, but still, come on, we're hitting you harder than any. At least the number of divisions. Italy has Vichy France on our enemy, so Vichy France is now in the Axis, which will probably mean there already is fighting here, Which very well may mean the Americans get pushing in there and then maybe attack in there, which could be good. So actually them joining the war is a good thing, I think, maybe. Still supply is a problem. Okay. Let's look at construction here. What is here? Okay. Yes, let's move you to the top. We'll rebuild some of the infrastructure that we've been battling over. Hopefully that will help a bit with supply. Okay, guys, Kursk. Okay, you come down to here. Calais, yeah, yeah, there's been a whole Brest down, well, near La Rochelle and Bordeaux, and yes, Calais has been, some of it's in Vichy control, it looks like, I don't know. Don't know why that's there, so they're invading. Those are the things we need to have happen to. So it looks like they've invaded Calais and then been pushed back German control, and for a while it went to French, and now it's back to German control. But yeah, these are good. Okay, come on, there's just one division there. You guys attack across the river just to pin those 3 divisions. You attack there. You support that attack there. You guys attack across the river here again to pin those down. Well, cross it maybe, but pinning is your point of your attack. Because this is the real point of action. Okay, now that you've done that, get the tank division across there rapidly. You guys can support that attack. And yeah, that looks good. That could be a decent distraction. Could be. You guys attack there. Pin them. Yeah, you guys push into there. Pinning them. Okay, ace pilot, don't care. More production. Let's see what we need. Fighters would be nice. Let's see about adding more fighter production. There we go. We'll do 2. We get back into that fight. And we have, well, let's, infrastructure. This is being a bit of a pain, so let's increase the infrastructure there. Let's increase the infrastructure here, and I'm going to make sure supplies will flow. There we go. That will hopefully help, and hopefully go fast. Okay, so we've sort of pushed into there. Let's push down to here with their support. With those Romanians. This is our real push here, but
Я готов.
okay, so we pushed up into here, so now you guys pack there, and you can have those 6 divisions as support. Maybe another division as well. And you can move to there, you want to come reach the river. Oh, they've actually retreated out of here. Okay, yeah, go take that. Since they retreated there, okay, Romanians, you get to get attacked. And yep, we're gonna go for Gomel. What's the manpower on Hungary? Don't know. I mean, they have a lot of territory. Yeah, we'll do that. Well, maybe I should do some spoiling attacks here just to help everybody out in other fronts. But the main idea here is we want the forces to be here so that we can pocket them, and it is fairly weak here. Well, that's a fairly strong 9 divisions there, but okay, so some fighting along there will hopefully... Liberia has capitulated? What? Oh, Vichy France probably took them over because they're our enemy now. That's it. That's why they capitulated. Vichy France had forces, and that makes some sense. And then there's an actual real D-Day type D-Day invasion here in Normandy. Wow, yes. Okay, but India movement. Normally Italy or Hungary runs out of manpower early on. Yeah, I just don't know right offhand. Britain's done another invasion here. I don't know what their laws are, whatever. I just don't know. Okay, come on. You're where we're supposed to be attacking. That's the point of this exercise. Okay, we've got there, so let's drive some cavalry across the river and up there maybe. One division just across the river to sort of hold it, and these two can join in on that attack. And you can support that attack. You support. Okay, you can come up and just that province. Okay, well, they failed there again. Okay, well, I know they're in fortresses, but attack anyways. Maybe you can win there. You support that. No. I don't know where you're going. Okay. That wasn't in the plan. Well, they don't connect. Okay, well, that does. And we have research. Let's see. Yeah, we'll spend our points. What decision or event? What is it? Old Stalingrad, 29 days left. Okay. Old Stalingrad. Okay, well, I guess we're holding Stalingrad well enough. I think we need Scorched Earth or whatnot. Partisan suppression, nice. Okay, well, they did come down into here. Good. Let's take those 3 divisions and go there. Let's take those 6, the armor division, we'll go here. Oh good, we've gotten into here, which now means we can, let's send in the armor divisions there. You guys attack here again, because we'd like to have that fortress. And yeah, you guys I guess attack here. Renew your attacks there, you push into there, keep them from reinforcing up that way. You attack into there. You attack into there as a spoiling attack. Oh good, we've retaken that now. Hopefully you can move into there. You can push to there. Yeah, you guys can cross the river there. Go south into there. Well, you just attack, keep them from moving. You guys just attack into there. Okay, you guys start marching down into there. Where are the supply zones here again? Okay, well, that's getting into this other supply zone, so that should help with the over and under supply. Hello Kai, how you doing? A decent challenging Barbarossa? Yes, it has been challenging. That it was. There's stupid stuff going on. Now we see the Allies are liberating France. Done a anvil landing down here now. Those of you who haven't, oh, and they've also landed in Greece now. They, for a while, did take Rome and parts of Sicily, but got pushed out of that. And Japan has been knocked out of the war. I mean, they exist now, but they were defeated, and China, you know, grabbed up a lot of territory. Okay, push while the pushing is good. Keep going. No, you guys push into there. That's sort of why I don't like these front lines so much. Okay, you join that attack again. You come into this attack. Nothing else, we're pinning those 2 divisions down. Okay, you come to here. You come to here to help occupy those. Hold them, whatever. You 2 can push into that attack as well. but these silly micro invasions, as you're calling them, aren't bad things once you're at war with the Soviet Union, because they controlled a good chunk of Belgium for a while, been pushed out a bit, but they've got most of the Netherlands. This is turning out to be a fairly decent AI and D-Day style invasion. Yes, they have landed here, and they are in Greece, so that's all helping me tremendously. Italy, I see, is retaken, probably with Vichy French help here, retaken a good chunk of North Africa. Italy has always held out here very well in this game, so that's done fairly well. So yeah, no, there's still some silliness going on, but it's looking pretty good. I think we're going to end the episode here. I want to thank you all for watching. Thanks for liking the videos. If you haven't already, please subscribe. You can follow me on YouTube or follow me on Twitch if you're watching over there, or on Mixer. We've had a few viewers on Mixer. Sort of the first time to actually get viewers over there. Live streaming out to all 3 platforms simultaneous. Do that most, if you're watching later on YouTube, do that most Saturdays. So I love the interaction with the viewers. So you can do that, but of course you can post comments below, and love reading those. So thanks so much, everyone. Okay, let's save this. I think we're going to end today's live stream. Let's save, make sure we do that right here on a good note. Now, those of you who normally play War Thunder with me, I'm planning on shortly playing some War Thunder, though I don't know that I'm going to stream it. There's the D-Day event going on that's really cool. I'm definitely going to be playing some of that tomorrow and live streaming it tomorrow. So if you want to join me there and we talk about things, hang out. Not scheduled. I have been scheduled for some streaming for Slitherine, but not this coming week. So it'll be next weekend for live streams, and of course everything on normal on YouTube to watch there. Love your interaction. So thank you all for showing up. I really do appreciate that you guys were here. Have a good morning, evening, afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you are.